happiest of Fridays, and welcome to another edition of 5 Horror Movie Fun Facts starring granddaughter sleeping just behind me and we don't want to wake her up. Today's movie just has just reminded me that I need to have like a Excel sheet for the movies that I've done already on this. Like I'm hitting a point to where I feel like I'm repeating movies because I talk about horror movies in other senses on this page and also on my YouTube page. So when I get to Friday, I often ask myself, have I done this movie before? And I don't think I have, but stop me if you've heard this one. Today's movie, Paranormal Activity, 2007. Fun fact number one. So this movie it came out not exactly at the dawn of the found footage era, but kind of at the crest. Like if we're going to talk about the dawn of the found footage era, then we have to include movies like Peeping Tom and Blair Witch Project. But at the time that Paranormal Activity came out, as far as big mainstream horror movies, found footage hadn't really hit the scene yet. Like the only thing most people knew about a found footage horror movie was Blair Witch Project. The ball was really just starting to roll here, basically. Anyway, that being said, the actors didn't have scripts. They only had guidelines as to what they were supposed to do and say in any given scene. It was also completed in about 10 days, which, like, I don't know if that is the fastest time a movie has gotten shot, but it's insane to think that they did this in about 10 days. Fun fact number two, Steven Spielberg got a home screener to watch this movie, and he couldn't watch it all the way through. It freaked him out. At least not the first watch. He had to watch it in the daytime the second go round, which I am mad at that. I have been that way for certain movies as well. But it's rumored that he convinced Oren Peli to change the ending, the original ending of the movie. The ending is something we'll cover here in a little bit. Fun fact number three. So the more significant discoveries that happen during this film typically happen at about 3:15 a.m. Not this one. This one happened at about 3:08. But the really scary stuff happened around 3:15. And that is because it's around the same time that George Lutz allegedly claimed that he would wake up every night in the infamous Amityville house. So kudos to Oren Peli for the subliminal shout out to Amityville. The 3 o'clock hour, most of the events of this movie happen around 3 o'clock hour, the scary stuff. And traditionally that's also known as the witching hour or the devil's hour. Fun fact number four. Okay, so about halfway through the movie when Mika's talking to Katie, there appears to be an orb-like object hovering around like behind her and to the right. Couldn't find a picture of it. This is just a random picture from the movie. But it caused kind of a thing where people started saying, "Oh, it's a demonic force, it's special effects or whatever." It wasn't any of that. It was a bug. It was it was an insect. Yeah, this is not a cursed movie, folks, that I'm aware of. Yeah. So anyway, and finally, fun fact number five. There are 3 endings to this movie. Now, that's not unusual. Horror movies have alternate endings all the time. What is unusual is that if you saw this movie at the time of the release, you may have been duped a little bit. The original ending was the one that was on screeners that ended up being changed to the theatrical ending, which okay, so basically in the original ending, Katie is wakes up, stands by the bed, goes downstairs, screams. Mika gets up and starts running down to see what the problem is. She returns a little while later and she's covered in blood and she sits by the bed for a number of hours until someone shows up to help. Police are called, she walks out, never to be seen again. That's the original ending. The second ending is pretty much like the original one, except that Mika ends up becoming possessed himself, approaches the camera, and of course the third ending is the theatrical one. Okay, so the important thing about all of that is that when this movie came out, if you watch the movie on a screener, like less than legally, you probably saw the original ending. And I know this because at the time I had fierce debates with people who said, "Oh my God, this movie sucks," because they saw the pirated version. basically. And I don't know if that's on purpose, if the pirated version, if this was to deter pirating or not, but I do know that at the time people were split as to whether or not this movie was even scary, because the ending is what makes it. So if you saw it in the theaters, probably scared the pants off. That's it for today's 5 horror movie fun facts. Join me again next week when we shall have another. Bye.